Screen Slurp.
Hello and welcome to Screen Slurps, the movie review podcast where we discuss everything that is good, bad, and savage in the world of cinema. I'm Adam Meisner.
And I'm Dash Gearhart, and we just want to say make sure to follow Screen Slurps. Yeah, make sure and tag us, follow us, subscribe to us. Yeah, we'll be live every single night, every single hour of the day. Make sure to tune in and see some crazy stuff. Listen to some crazy talk between Adam and I. Adam, how are you?
I'm doing good, and if anything, listen to the lessons that we give you and try not to follow the lessons of Kurt Kringle, Kurt Kungle. Dude, this guy's
Steve
running
from
red
Stranger
lights.
Things.
Yeah. Joe Keery's got good lessons. Kurt Kunkel does not. Kurt Squirt's World, as we find out from Jesse Adams. Holy smack. This movie is something that I cannot even describe at the moment. I will in about 5 minutes, but what in the smack, man? This movie is... What?
That's right, ladies and gents. If you don't know already, we are reviewing Spree, the 2020 film starring Joe Keery, and that will be our episode for today. But before we get into that craziness, Adam, I gotta ask you, like I do every week, which is,
What's that?
What have you been slurping, my man? What have you been watching, playing, reading, spreeing, whatever you want to call it? What have you been digesting this week? Besides food, and besides water, and besides Spree this past week.
I was going to say I'm currently digesting something called the Snaggletooth Bandana. An American,
is that a beer?
Yeah, it is. It's an American India Pale Ale. From Solemn Oath Brewery. Anyways, the past week I've been coming close to the final chapters of the Spider-Ham Collection Volume 1 that I've been reading, and I'm kind of disappointed that it took the entire 3/4 of the book I've read so far, near the final issues, for them to finally introduce Mary Jane into the series. She's a water buffalo, by the way, in Spider-Ham. I'm speechless. It's hysterical. And they also finally introduced how he became Spider-Ham. By the way, Spider-Ham, Peter, the Spider-Ham man, Peter started off as a spider. His Aunt May, was a pig. She started off as a pig. She also...
Hey, that's not nice.
She also has no relation to Peter. Peter was just a spider. She was a pig, and she was also a scientist who was making some scientific hair dryer that she was going to showcase. The science experiment went wrong that she was doing. She was taken over by some sort of radiation, and as she was coming towards Peter the spider, then part of Aunt May was infused into Peter. Peter got parts of Aunt May's DNA, became a pig with spider-infused powers as well, and then Aunt May lost her memory and thought Peter was related to her.
That happens, you know.
So that's the history on that one. So I'm getting near the end of the Spider-Ham series, and I'll keep you posted when I finish it. But
can't wait.
In other news, I finished the only season of Love is Blind that is currently on Netflix. They are going to be filming another season, but the one that is on there, finished that up. I will not spoil anything. However, I will say that not all of the couples that were in the season finished up as couples. That's all I will say. You'd expect that out of a reality television show. Come on, let's be real here. But not all of them do stay together. Some of them do, some of them don't. That's all I'm going to say about that one. They do have a reunion episode, and they do all talk about sort of the ins and outs of what happened there. But that was a series that I was just not expecting a lot of the things they said on there. Again, like all reality television, it's just things happen. There's ups, there's downs, and now there's another show I found out is on Lifetime Television that's 9 seasons in, and it wasn't quite like Love is Blind, but sort of a similar thing. Not quite in the similar sense of Love is Blind, but I don't know. It's not like they go into a room and just talk to each other, but they basically hire somebody. They don't pay for it, but they just say that they're looking for somebody, and then the person comes back to them. They're like, yeah, we found you someone that you're going to marry, and you don't get to see him until you get married. Yeah.
I mean, isn't it just arranged marriages? that's been done hundreds of years.
Well, they made a show about it, and they're 9 seasons in. So
How can we bank on the most abusive, most horrible tradition? one of the most ever. Oh, let's make a reality TV show about it.
well, I mean, they made a show called Pimp My Ride. So let's make a show called, Love is Blind, and we'll just bank on all these things. So I don't know how I correlated that with Pimp My Ride, and I also started playing Minecraft. So it feels like I'm back in high school, and I just sit on my computer playing video games sometimes. When life gives you lemons and you're stressing out, then you just go into this sandbox game and start hitting at blocks and building houses, and life is a joy sometimes with Minecraft. It's like, I thought about playing Minecraft, and I thought, that game is the most childish video game out there. Why in the heck would I try and play Minecraft? And as soon as I started playing it, immediately it was kind of like, this is so foolish. And then about 20 minutes in, I couldn't stop, because it's like you start building with the blocks and you just get addicted.
Can you visit, like, the way you can visit other people's islands in Animal Crossings? Can you do that in Minecraft? Can you visit each other's worlds? I played Minecraft, but I never played it like online or anything.
I tried to get into the multiplayer in Minecraft, and as I looked into it, it looked like I needed to pay to have a server for multiplayer.
Kind of like World of Warcraft.
Which kind of put me down a little bit, that I need to pay for server access. However, if you are local, if you and I were on the same Wi-Fi or the same internet, like LAN access, that's totally free. So it's totally free to do LAN. But if you and I were separate, if we're in separate houses and things like that, I would need to pay for server access.
Well, there's been studies, you shouldn't feel bad, because there's been studies that people who play video games are generally happier than those who don't. Especially when there's been like recommendations that, especially if you've had like, you're really stressed out about something or really anxious, it does actually help your brain and your emotions to spend a little time to play some games, to get your mind off of something else. You're focusing on something else, and it kind of can make you bring your mood up and make you less anxious. So
it makes sense. You got to just ease up sometimes. Sometimes you get so lost in work or in life, and you're just sitting there just thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, what am I going to do next? And then when you just start playing a video game, it's just ease of mind. It's like meditating.
Yeah, it is. It is to an extent good for you. And yeah, it's not a waste of time. I used to feel so guilty about playing, and it's good to play. It's good for the soul. Good for the soul.
Yeah.
Anything else you've been slurping, pal?
No, that's really the big stuff. What have you been up to?
Been playing Fire Emblem Three Houses, coming up towards the end. I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, I really like... this game is actually my new favorite game of the whole time, like I've said before. Finishing up the alternate Black Eagles path, aka the Church path, where you lead the resistance army that is gathered at Garreg Monastery, like really all the paths, but really you're leading the Church of Saros, their deity, basically. So yeah, it's good. It's, like I said before, the best path, in my opinion, is the Dimitri / Blue Lion storyline. But if you haven't played it yet on Nintendo Switch, I highly recommend it. Also, I've been playing Hades as well. I'm looking for, like I said, I love Fire Emblem. I'm just looking forward to a break and focusing on some other games. I'm probably gonna switch to The Witcher 3. I'm probably gonna be like really hit that game hard and really like play it like all the way through and do as
I
much
haven't
as I
tried
can.
that yet.
It's really good, and it surprisingly runs really well on the Switch. Hey, I gotta ask you a question. In your opinion, do you think that Nintendo Switch is a console? It's a handheld, yes, but considering also that it plays such a heavy game as Witcher 3 so well, like so surprisingly well, shouldn't it make it a console? Like, shouldn't that be a reason that like it also is a console? I mean, you Google it, and like the first thing that comes up is that it's a console. But like, there's people out there in the community, the video game community, like, no, it's not a console. What do you think?
It is a console, but it's also a portable console.
Yeah, it's perfect. You can take it anywhere, and it also acts. It's not like a Game Boy where like the graphics are shitty. You know, it plays Witcher 3, which also you can play on PS4. So anyway, yeah, I'm looking forward to doing other games, and also Hades. Really looking forward to like really concentrate on Hades. Hades is so good. I can totally see like Netflix adapting that into an anime. And I mean, they also did Castlevania. I don't know if you've seen that. I revisited Castlevania this past week, and I love that show so much. I huge Castlevania head. I was into Castlevania growing up on the video games, and yeah, the series on Netflix is incredible. It is so good, and the animation's beautiful. The voice actors are so good. It's an incredible series. But I can see Netflix also adapting Hades into something similar because they did such a good job with it. Anyway, I also downloaded the Scott Pilgrim video game on my Nintendo Switch. It is a very cool, fun beat 'em up game. Of course, based off of the more of the comics than the movie, but still basically the same storyline. You know, you're going through this quest to fight Ramona Flowers' 7 evil exes, and yeah, it's packed with lots of like bitty goodness, like 8-bit, 16-bit goodness, and you know, Anamanaguchi type sounds, and it feels good, but also it kind of hurts because I'm like, oh, that was also 10 years ago when Scott Pilgrim came out, and yeah, it's a great thing to revisit though, and I realized I never read the comic book series. I need to go back and check that out because I heard that it's the greatest medium of all the Scott Pilgrim adaptations out there. And of course, not adaptation, source material. Anyway, moving forward, I also downloaded. I'm not really big into mobile games that much, but as we were talking, like sometimes it's good to like just like play a game, and sometimes I don't want to reach for my Switch or my Nintendo DS. I just have my phone in my hand, and I don't want to keep scrolling because like literally scrolling makes me feel like I'm just in limbo sometimes. Like on social media, I'm just like, I don't want to scroll anymore. I just want to like play something. So I
in the land of TikTok.
Yeah, I'm tired of like just scrolling. So anyway, I downloaded Dragon Quest V, which it's an RPG that you can play with one hand, and it's a vertical style RPG. Character designed by Akira Toriyama, who also, you know, designed Chrono Trigger characters and also Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, all of them. And it's very cute, very fun, and it's actually not a bad control system, even though it's all touchscreen. I'm usually kind of like, I don't want to do a touchscreen game. It's not bad. I recommend it. And also revisited other things such as Ghostbusters 2. I had a hankering to watch Ghostbusters 2, and it's a classic. I love watching it. Also revisited D2 The Mighty Ducks, which is also one of my favorite movies. I'm not big into sports. Like I like watching like combat sports like boxing or MMA, and I recently just like on YouTube just like was watching some like jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai, and I don't really like watching sports at all, like football, basketball. I never have. I don't like it. But the D2 Mighty Ducks is such a good movie. I actually like sports movies like Return of the Titans and, you know, Friday Night Lights. Movies that involve sports, I do like because like it makes me care more for the, you know, the people. Maybe, I don't know, whatever. I love the Mighty Ducks series, and D2 the Mighty Ducks is probably my favorite out of all of them. It's an incredible throwback nostalgia, and has so many great people in it. Like Kenan Thompson's in it. He does the knuckle puck move, which is really cool. Foggy Nelson from Daredevil is in it. He's one of the Bash brothers. And yeah, I mean, of course, Emilio Estevez, he's Gordon Bombay. And it's great to go back. It's on Disney Plus if anyone wants to check it out. And with that is all my screen slurps that are off to the side. Now to the main screen slurp, which is this week.
You're on quite the spree there, DJ.
I'm spreeing it up, just trying to get them likes and trying to get them follows and taking people where they need to go. Social network. We're building a brand. That's right. And we're building a brand by reviewing Spree. Yes, Spree this week. Spree is a 2020 American black comedy horror film directed by Eugene. Holy crap, Adam! How do you pronounce that last name? Kotlyarrenko and Co.
You just say it in a giant
Kotlyarrenko. Yes, Eugene. He directed it. He, she, they. I don't know, Eugene. Your pronouns, but Eugene directed. And the Gonzo-style satire follows a social media obsessed ride-hail driver like Uber, played by Joe Keery, Mr. Stranger Things himself, Mr. Stranger Things with the nail bat, Steve from Stranger Things, Joe Keery. The film also stars Sashir Zamata, David Arquette, Kyle Mooney, and Misha Barton, which I was very glad to see. She is the queen of OC, brought back so many great memories. Anka was like, hey, I think that was Misha Barton. I look back, I'm like, it's Misha Barton! And then, like,
California, here we come.
made me feel so good. That's also another thing I may revisit again this week on HBO Max. Anyway, the movie was also the executive producer. One of the executive producers was Drake. That's right, Mr. Drake.
Wow.
So Spree premiered on January 24th, 2020 at the 2020 Sundance Film Festival as part of the Next category and was released theatrically and via on video on demand in the United States on August 14th, day before my birthday, August 14th, 2020 by RLJE Films. The film received mixed reviews from critics with praise for Kiri's performance and the premise. The plot isn't based on true events, but it's tied fairly realistically into the real-world tech and social media, fictionalizing some controversies and referencing an actual mass murder by an Uber driver in 2016. So, let that sink in.
Well,
cinematography was done by Jeff Leeds Kahn, which we'll have to get into more later because, like, all the cinematography, folks, is literally like through phones, like through smartphones, or GoPros, like GoPro type cameras. And it was edited by Benjamin Moses Smith, and the production company was Forest Hill Entertainment, Dream Crew, Super Bloom, and the running time is 93 minutes. And at the box office, again, this is a 2020 film, doesn't really matter, but we say it anyway. It's pandemic and stuff. But anyway, on box office, it made $43,840. So, Adam, let's see. What about Spree? Tell me your thoughts about Spree. What was your experience? By the way, folks, this is on Hulu if you haven't checked it out yet. But yeah, before we get into it, since you may have not seen this film yet, Adam, could you kind of go into a little bit about the story?
Sure. I'm going to start by giving the one-sentence gist of Spree, and then I'm going to go a little bit more in depth with the start of the film of Spree so we can dive a little bit more into the details. So the general gist of the movie Spree, the very brief one-sentence description would be, desperate for an online following, a rideshare driver has figured out a deadly plan to go viral, and he will stop at nothing to get his 5 minutes of fame. So as I called him Kurt Kunkel, that's literally his name in this movie. Joe Keery, bless his soul, he was pretty funny in this movie, honestly. And sadly, as much of this movie is a parody, it does very well relate to social media today and people trying to get likes and trying to get publicity. And I swear, if any of you listeners have a TikTok profile or are on social media, I mean, mainly TikTok, I think, is the big one. But if you're you got friends and you have your own profile and you're thinking to yourself, man, I'm going to make a video and let's see who likes my video. That's just where it starts. And you put the video online and you put a post on Facebook or something. But I know for a fact, especially with TikTok, when you put a video on there, you think to yourself, I wonder who's going to watch this thing. And you put it up there and maybe you get one view or something. And you think to yourself, okay, that's kind of cool. Someone watched my video. And then you check it again in half an hour, and you've got 60 views or something, and you're thinking to yourself, 60 people watch my video? Wow, I'm kind of popular. And you check it an hour later after that or something, and you've got 300 views, and you're thinking to yourself, holy crap, like that many people are watching my video. And maybe half an hour later or something, you've got a comment that says hashtag FYP, which would mean for your page or whatever, more people are wanting to watch this, and maybe you've got 2,000 views or something. And now you're starting an addiction, and now you may not realize that, but it's starting like, how can I get more people to watch my video? And that is exactly I think the theme or what is happening in this movie with Spree. They're playing off of that, where this Kurt Kunkel character is playing on how that many people in the world right now are just out there thinking, okay, I want all these people to watch me. What is going to get all these people to watch me, my profile? I want people to look at me, especially right now during the COVID-19 pandemic, because none of us can go outside whether we want to or not. I can't because I don't want to get sick, and neither does anybody else. And as real as that is, we just can't do it. So the thing is, we're all sitting at home, we're all making videos, and we're all wanting to be on social media. And even in a time that we could go outside, we were still doing that. So that's the thing, and that's what we're playing with. But back in the movie, Kurt Kunkel is trying to be social media famous, and what makes this funny is that the very beginning of this movie, there's a narration happening. He's introducing himself. He's showing himself off like he's this big famous guy, and then text comes up to tell you.
It seems so innocent feeling too. It seems like almost cute, you know?
Yeah,
like if you didn't see the trailer, you would have no idea.
It's like a Disney Channel opening. It's kind of like,
hey guys, like I totally started this like 10 years ago. You know, like
this is
here's
me.
This app. This is a kid I used to babysit. You know,
I'm Kurt from Kurt's World. Hey everybody,
Kurt's World. Yeah,
Kurt's World. Also, Kurt's World '96, which is an indicator that the dude is born in 1996. First of all, okay, it's some youngy Kurt's World.
He's like he's like one of the last millennials, one of the first Gen Zers.
Right. So this young dude, Kurt Kunkel, Kurt's World 96, he's talking about how he grew up with his parents watching the 9/11 tragedy. Okay, what a great opener, Kurt. Thanks for that. He then moved to Azusa from Los Angeles. He also, parents got divorced, and he's talking about how he made all these social media videos. He got addicted to being a video game streamer, which when he's showing that off, his way of being a video game streamer is him sitting in his chair saying, "Oh, I'm going to fuck you so hard. Yeah, I'm going to fuck you so hard." Okay, Kurt, that's probably not what you should be saying on a video game stream, but okay. And then he goes on to show more of his streaming videos, which is him trying to make a cribs video. He's trying to make a sneaker unboxing that's awful. He's trying to do a vape testing video that's also awful. And then this finalizes with him showing that he used to babysit someone who's now social media famous, and he still is not. So he gets yelled at. Yep, he gets yelled at by trying to double dip in Bobby's stream. So Bobby's like, "Quit trying to double dip in my stream." And
it sounds like Aziz Ansari. Yo, quit double dipping my stream.
And then after all of that, as Kurt still he's still trying not to sound guilty. He's just like, "Yeah, so, and that's what I'm doing. Now I'm driving for Spree." Text comes up saying that he's never had viewers in the double digits. Never. So he's never had
that is
up
small.
to 10 viewers. He's never had more than 9 viewers at least.
Yeah, 9. Even if they had said, because he seemed like he was working really hard on it. Even if they had said he's never had triple digits, I'd be like, wow, that sucks. And then when they said double, I'm like, really? 9? Wow. Teeny. Nah, that would be frustrating.
But going back to what I was saying in the beginning, how I started with the single sentence description. Now, to go into the elaborate description, I was saying, a young man named Kurt Kunkel. He's obsessed with being a social media star, becoming viral. A child he used to babysit. Bobby's now an internet star who frequently makes live streams and has high viewer numbers, making Kurt jealous. Kurt finds work as a driver for a rideshare app called Spree, then fits out his car with cameras. I forgot to mention that. He puts cameras all in his car and begins a new live stream titled The Lesson. This is the big thing to remember. He starts a new live stream titled The Lesson, where he instructs viewers on how to become famous on social media. That's the big thing. He has never had double-digit viewers, and he is now starting a new live stream called The Lesson, where he instructs viewers on how to become famous on social media. There is something wrong with Kurt Kunkel. It's a parody movie. I get that, but man, like...
Well, like, I didn't even understand his... Like, if I were, because I was trying to, like, okay, forget about the trailer, just kind of, like, go in, try to, just focus on, like, what's happening, scene by scene. And, like, when he had, like, the car, I'm like, what is the lesson? I don't understand. Like, what is he just going to be talking about driving for Spree the whole time? I don't know. So, anyway, this first passenger that he picks up is this dude talking about like writing a speech or whatever. He needs to charge his phone because he's been like writing a speech on his phone the whole time, blah, blah, blah. It turns out that he is a white supremacist. Yep. And Kurt's not. Kurt's not a white supremacist. It's saying, all different, ethnicities, races, we're all the same. And this guy starts heckling him a little bit and very hateful, trying to get him to be proud of his whiteness, except if he was Jewish. He was, but anyway, he calls him a libtard, and he says he needs to wake up, and that this white supremacist says basically all these shitty things about how like this bullshit about how like white people are scientifically smarter and all that. Anyway, it's just all fucking racist bullshit. And Kurt's not having it, you know? And I was like, okay, maybe I don't know what was, maybe he's like this like new age millennial / Gen Z. He's a little younger, so I don't know. He's like Gen Z basically. So like Gen Z, like we're millennials, like so I guess he'd be Gen Z. So like Gen Z social media punisher, you know what I mean? Maybe he finds like bad people because he eventually kills this guy.
Yeah.
And I was like,
that's not a bad way to start.
I was like, maybe he's like this vigilante that searches like fucking terrible people, and he gives them drugged up water and kills them. Because the next two people suck.
Yeah.
Because the next is I guess the woman wasn't that bad.
She just wasn't paying attention, and
she just wasn't nice. Yeah. She just wasn't. She didn't deserve to die. She just wasn't nice. So he gives him this bottles of water that he like infused like some kind of poison, or what was it, like some kind of drug?
It was part of a
like,
syringe, which he also had part of the lesson. He streamed that online. He did. That, which also raises the question: how is law enforcement or anyone else on the internet not seeing this? Like, that's how sad his views are, that no one just discovers these videos that he clearly puts on the internet.
Yep. It's crazy. And so basically he gives these people these drugged up syringed water and in his car, and then he tells them that he's recording. He's like, oh yeah, I'll be transparent and stuff. And the woman dies. He unlocks her phone with her face, which, by the way, I tried that out with my phone. I have like a new iPhone, and it does not unlock my, like, it has like face identity, whatever, like unlocks, but it won't unlock unless I look directly into the lens. If I like have it on my face, and for Adam can see me, but if I have it on my face, it won't unlock unless I have my pupils looking at my phone, like looking at the lens. So for her to have her eyes closed, I don't know, maybe the iPhone 11, maybe that one just like unlocks. But I was like, oh, you'd have to peel her eyelids open for it to unlock. Anyway, so he texts like whoever she's texting, like, fuck you, blah blah blah, just kind of like basically ruins her life. Gives himself a $2 tip. He says he likes a tip in the middle. And the next person, the third person that he picks up, is this basically frat boy douchebag that's being an asshole to Kurt as well. And then we get our second lead of the movie, basically our spoilers, will be our hero, Jesse Adams, who's played by Sashir Zamata, who I originally saw in Saturday Night Live. So she gets in a car, and there's first she shouldn't get in the car because she canceled her ride. Fucking Mario, the third, douchebag he picks up, is just hollering at her, and he's like, oh, it's okay, it's okay. She's like, I canceled. Like, no, it's okay, I'm going there anyway. I don't do this just for the money, blah, blah, blah. It's like right there. It's like, don't get in. Don't get in this fucking car.
Yeah, Kurt just picks her up anyways. So
yeah, he picks her up anyways. Mario keeps being a douchebag, and it seems like Jesse and Kurt are almost kind of like, they're both yelling at Mario.
Well, Mario's trying to hit on her and is trying to hook up with her. Kurt is like, oh, she's famous. She's a famous comedian. She's got a lot of followers. And so she thinks he's like a Twitter bot, basically.
Yeah. And
calls him Squirt's World. And but like her experience, it really hits hard with her, as we find out later. And so anyway, after Jesse gets out of the car, she ends up like, just bailing. Mario, like he is still being an asshole to Kurt. And he ends up getting out of the car because he has to take a piss. Kurt says, get out of the car, blah, blah, blah. You're not going to throw up my car, because he starts to get sick because he ended up drinking some of the water, the poison water. So anyway, he gets out of the car, and then Kurt runs him over. He fucking to the Gummy Bear song.
Yeah, to the Gummy Bear song. He fucking kills him to the Gummy Bear song. And at that point, I still was like, maybe he's like some kind of like, I mean, this is wrong for sure. But I'm like, maybe he's some sort of like person that's just trying to kill shitty people that are bad to women and racist. And, you know, I'm like, still, but then when I was like, oh no, this guy's a fucking psycho, was, and correct me if I'm wrong, Adam, what happened next, like a big event that happened next, was it Misha Barton's with her friends, or was it he goes to Bobby's house?
He goes to Bobby's house first, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
It's Misha Barton.
It's Misha Barton.
It's Misha Barton and her friends.
Because he's like, dude, I got
and
like
then he goes to Bobby's because
kills.
Bobby doesn't believe him. Bobby doesn't believe him through any of it because because Kurt kills all these people and Bobby thinks he's faking all of it.
Yeah, and Kurt is, by the way, folks, Kurt is streaming all of this. He's streaming all of this. There's people in there in the chat like, yeah, whatever, fake. Yeah, whatever. Weird smile. Kurt's fucking crazy.
And Kurt keeps going back to Bobby on all this and asking him, like, why am I not getting people like
Bobby's
this?
heckling him.
What's going on? And Bobby is telling him that he's boring and that it's all fake and that he needs to do X, Y, and Z. You know, it's like, you need to do it like this. And Bobby shows him this video of this homeless guy going to a store buying food for his friends, and he's like, "You see that?
$100 for him, right? He planted $100 for the homeless guy.
Like, I staged all of that. Like, you need to do stuff like this."
And this obviously
such
pisses
bullshit.
Kurt off. Yeah,
it's such bullshit.
And so
me watching that video, I understand this video is a parody. This whole movie, I understand this whole movie is a parody on life. Basically, okay, and that's really sad for me to say that this movie is a parody. It is. It's classified as a parody. But seeing that video where it's a staged homeless bit where a guy goes in, buys food with $100 for his friends, and then the character Bobby pops up next to the picnic table of homeless people like, like follow and subscribe.
Yeah, peace signs. And
with peace signs, like follow and subscribe. Oh,
that fucking hero.
That made me so mad inside, thinking there's so many people out there that still do stuff like that.
It's pretty
all the time.
Not like all this stuff could happen. Like let's be real, like all this, and the way people are so, I mean, we'll continue with the pawn stuff, but I just wanted to take a minute to say that, like, literally this made me, because you stream on Twitch, like it made me like, I'm like, oh my God, I'm participating in this, like, in a way. I mean, like, it's great in a way because the internet has granted so many ways to make money now that didn't exist, like even fucking 5 years ago, you know, 10 years ago for sure. And it's great, but like, so there's it's like fantastic and terrifying at the same time, because there are some people that are so, like that movie, The Social Dilemma on Netflix, documentary. Like, there are people that have become so dependent on this, especially like Gen Zers and on, because like you and me remember before smartphones, like there's people who are raised on smartphones,
right?
And then like in social media, and then it's like, what does that do to your brain? What does that do to your self-esteem? What does that do to your psyche? What does that do when like your self-esteem is literally dependent on likes and views? And I don't know. It was icky in a way that was like, I don't know, like really jarring and triggering, and also like it seemed real, especially like we said before, folks, like that all this was through the lens of either GoPros or streaming on smartphones, like all of it. There's not one scene, there's not one shot that you see it through an omniscient viewpoint like you usually would see in a narrative film. So,
or in terms of film school, it's very much all breaking the fourth wall for the most part.
All the way break. It's like a bottle vacuum breaking the fourth wall. Yeah. Where he's not directly speaking to us as an audience, but he is speaking to an audience that does not exist beside him. And so, he then goes and picks up Misha Barton, which I was, again, happy to see her, because I haven't seen her and things in a long time, but that's cool. Hey, life happens, and I'm super happy to see her, and brought back great memories to see. Anyway, so she has two friends. She gets in the car to call a spree. Kurt takes him to a junkyard, I guess, or
it very much seems like that.
Yeah, and he's like, hey, stick your heads out the window, the sunroof window in the back, blah, blah, blah. And then Misha Barton gets in the front, talks to Kurt about like this like little thing that he has from his mom, and he starts like give kind of some insight on like how he feels about his parents. Says like his dad's a fucking loser, says his mom's a star fucker, and like he does not like his parents. Like he does not have a good relationship with his parents.
Yeah.
And especially his father. And he then keeps going into the junkyard until they come across the guard dogs, which I think are Rottweilers.
Well, Frankie Grande almost gets decapitated, but they miss out on that one.
Yeah, they miss out on that, and then they get torn apart by Rottweilers, by dogs, guard dogs, and then Misha Barton gets her character gets a power drill to the head.
Yep.
Which you see Kurt go for. Kurt power drills her head. And he streams all of this, and then he's like bragging about it to Bobby. And he's like, "Well, I got 3 spree kills, whatever." Yeah. And Bobby's still not impressed. What's that?
Yeah. He's like, "Didn't you see that? I got 3." Yeah. And Bobby doesn't care. I believe that's right before Bobby shows him the homeless video we were talking about. And that video just made me sick in the stomach to think, like, really? That's what you're going to follow up with? Like, you think that was boring, his 3 kill that he just did, and you're going to show him that homeless video? Like, you're being boring, Kurt. And, of course, Kurt follows up by going to Bobby's place to tell him, like, come on, Bobby, what am I doing wrong? And what is Bobby's, retort to that is Bobby has a camera around his neck that he turns on and starts a live stream for. Again, that's what you come back with, is you start live streaming in your house with a camera on your neck. Just, yo, what's up? It's Bobby Basecamp, and look who's in my place. And this is how we're going to argue in the future. We're just going to start live streams right back and forth. Hey, what's up? This is me in my house. I'm in my living room. Some dipshits at my door. Just want all you followers to babysit me. Yeah. Just so you know, I ordered pizza tonight, and look who's at my door. It's the pizza man. Isn't he stupid?
Kurt Kringle from Squirt's World.
Like and subscribe for pepperoni, and next time I'll order sausage if you give me $5.
I mean, like, in a world which we are in, especially those who are consider themselves like professional full-time streamers, that is power. I mean, if you really care about like having a following and not losing your following, then like, yeah, that Bobby weaponized it.
I mean, I guess you can do that on Twitch streams too, is they have that donate button where if you watch for 20 minutes or something, then you can request things. You could be like, hey, could you do this in your game? Because I've been watching for 20 minutes and
send them bits.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can. I don't know, man. Like, again, I'm on Twitch and I have fun, and like there's just like a point. I mean, it's like I don't want to be a puppet. I mean, like, but then again, what are actors? I mean, like, I don't know. Like, like there's no judgment, but I'm just like curious. Like, actors. We're all. I mean, you and me, we record the show every week for people who are entertainers. It's all entertainment. We're entertainers. We like entertaining people. And yeah, we like to do it for a few bones. That'd be great. And I don't know. Yeah, I'm trying not to judge. I feel the impulse to judge, but I shouldn't judge.
We're not in it to be the Grim Reaper, though,
No, not at all. Yeah, that's something you could judge him on. Anyway, so he fucking kills Bobby with a knife. And he streams it. Kurt Kringle and a Squirt's World. And yeah,
and Bobby's followers don't think it's real.
No, they're just like fake.
There's the chain, though. Bobby thought it was fake when Kurt killed people. Bobby's followers think it's fake when Kurt kills Bobby.
Yep.
So
yeah, there's like fucking fake. Yeah. Which at first it started making me think that like, oh, maybe it is fake. Maybe it is all staged. Like, what happens at the end when they all like take a bow or something like that, and they all come out in their bloody shirts and they're like, "Hey, like I'm just gonna take a bit." Everybody's clapping. It's like a stage play or something.
Thanks for watching Kurt's World.
Thanks for watching Kurt's World. Next week I'm gonna kill aliens. I don't know. But I was expecting it all at a little bit. I'm like, maybe it is staged. But anyway, we see Kurt in the shower, and suddenly he starts to get like a lot of views. Like
He's got more viewers.
It said that he went viral earlier in the film, right before he started to set up the hashtag the lesson.
Yes.
But it seemed like this moment after he killed Bobby is when he started to go viral. Like he started getting a ton of hits in the shower, offering to show his boner. And when that happened, I
like,
looked
sorry,
away.
no, not yet.
I didn't want to see it because I'm like, I don't want to see Joe Keery's penis. Like, I looked away. Oh, by the way, fun fact: him and I had the same Meisner teacher, the same, not Adam Meisner, the same Sanford Meisner acting technique teacher. Him and I, yeah, because Joe Keery is a Chicago. Well, he was formerly a Chicago actor. He went to DePaul University, and him and I both were taught by the same Sanford Meisner acting technique actor. But yeah, anyway, fun fact. So we were. It's like we both. It's like Anakin Skywalker and Luke Skywalker, you know. But I'm not. Yeah, I'm not on Stranger Things.
Fun thoughts. Fun thoughts.
Fun thoughts. But yeah, and he obviously his boner. I didn't want to see his boner, so I looked away. Did he show his boner? I didn't look.
No, it was like he went to start showing it, and he's like, haha, no, not yet, or whatever. So
not yet. And also, throw this out there. Was anybody giving him any money? You know, like on Twitch or like, you know, you can throw people money and bones and stuff, and like you can subscribe and like,
yeah.
Was he getting any
in parts
money
of the video when those things came up and it'd be like donated $1 or whatever, and the voice would come on.
Right. But they're real dollars, right?
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought they were real dollars, but I do remember those parts. You're right.
Yeah, when the voice would say something like, you know, I don't know, when it'd be like Bobby donated blah 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 or whatever, or received $1 from Bobby Basecamp or something.
Yep. And then is this the point where he goes to meet his dad and DJ Uno?
Yes. After he kills Bobby, that's when his dad is like, hey, we're going to go see DJ Uno at such and such. And he's kind of reluctant about it. He's like, that sounds so dumb. And then all of the people that are following him are like, DJ Uno, that's so cool.
Yeah, and she has like thousands and thousands of followers. She's a DJ from Korea. Is that right? Yeah.
I think so.
And he's just like, they're in this empty strip club, which nobody's
with
performing.
Like 2 guys just like dancing on stage, something like that.
Weird,
yeah.
purple lit, empty strip club that is just DJ Uno, David Arquette as Kris Kringle's dad. It's Kris Kringle from Squirt's World's dad.
It's way past your bedtime, Kris Kringle. He already gave out his presents.
And it's so empty and strange, but then Kurt immediately, he's gotta fucking get it. He's gotta get his dick in there and just be like, hey, can you fucking tag me?
Follow for follow?
It's like, dude, like, can you fucking, like, can you just have some chill?
Every
like,
time he said that too, I wanted to smack him as well. Just follow for follow.
Like, you have no chill, Kurt. Like, zero chill. I know you just murdered 5 people, but like, you don't use zero chill, dude.
He's murdering 5 people so he can get a follow for follow.
Bro, savage, bro. Chill with the follows. Anyway, so he hounds Uno to fucking follow.
Look, we can play Uno without having to follow each other, okay?
Yeah, dude, I love Uno. Like, it's so savage when A-Way throws down a draw 4.
Anyways.
Love Uno, the game. Anyway, so DJ Uno is just like not having it, just like, oh, fuck. And she just like, so then did Kurt and David Arquette daddy go driving first, or did he ended up taking DJ Uno to go get tacos?
He took DJ Uno to get tacos.
She's like, fine, you think we got to get tacos, I'll give you a follow, I'll give you a tag, whatever. So then he goes to the taco place. He says, like, all right, I'll go get you tacos. You just got to, you know, we wait in here, blah, blah, blah. So he goes.
I don't even know what she ordered. It was something confusing. Just like,
yeah.
Me famous. Ah. He's like, what? What'd you say? I don't even know what she said. I just said me famous, but I don't know what she ordered.
Anyway.
Whatever she ordered. I don't know what she ordered. We'll call it the me famous, but... yeah, whatever.
He goes, gets her food, he gets in line, and he talks to some other. He starts to introduce, you know, Kurt's World again. first thing out of the cage, just always introducing Kurt's world to new people. He talks about his girl. There's people in his chat are just like, dude, like, you know, hook up there, blah, blah, you know. And it's like,
fuck her, yeah.
Yeah, it's like being really rude. And meanwhile, DJ Uno is searching through his car, which I don't know why, but anyway, she finds his gun, his handgun. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, she finds his gun first. She like posts fucking pictures of herself like posing with the gun. What a great
thing to post pictures of.
And sexy gun pictures, I guess. Anyway, so then she finds a bottle of water, one of the poison water. So she starts drinking it. She passes out. Meanwhile, cops show up and Kurt comes back with the food and he gets in the car and there is cops going around. They talk to him. He pretends it's his girlfriend and she's had too much drink. I get him, blah, blah, blah. So then they're like, okay, you're fucking weird. So step out of the car. So he steps out of the car and he's having to do like a sobriety test. And then DJ Uno wakes up, right? And then she shoots the gun immediately, kills one of the cops, she runs out of the car. The other cop's chasing her. Meanwhile, Kurt's like, oh, thank God. Like, he's fucking thankful for this. And he just drives off, whatever. Eats his taco truck food, which looked pretty good, by the way. And he's like, woo, and just like so glad that he escaped that. Doesn't give a shit. But at this point, you have to realize, if you had any questions in your mind, Kurt is a fucking sociopath and a psychopath. He has zero empathy for anybody. And that proves the next few minutes where he's being chased by the cops going backwards or going like the wrong way.
He's going the wrong way down the freaking interstate.
And he starts running over homeless people's tents. Like, he's like, no one would even care if they died. Like, they just don't exist, basically. He has zero empathy.
If this was real life, first of all, I just want to say I don't think that this film really connects the lines incredibly well, because as he's at that taco place, there's two cops, and you see that he's with these two cops. One gets shot, the other one runs off, and then it's like, okay, who knows how far away that other cop ran off after Uno, because she had a gun, and that cop's chasing her. Did that cop catch the license plate that he was next to? Did like anyone else see the license plate that was by that?
Chase after him.
How did the cops realize to chase Kurt Kunkel when he drove off? Anyway, so the cops are chasing Kurt Kunkel. He's driving down a super busy interstate the wrong direction. If this was real life, he would have been hit in an instant.
Oh yeah, he would have been flying through the air.
Yeah, but in this movie, he's just let me swerve around everybody.
Tortilla chips.
Yeah, eating his tortilla chips, just living the life, just
and streaming
at the same time with his cell phone, like just going one hand driving, no big deal, and then he decides, I can just swerve off the interstate into the land of the homeless here, and no big deal with no accident. And as he's going down there, he's like, hey everybody, look, homeless people. As he's driving down there, he literally says that. So he was driving down there, showing everyone the homeless people he's driving by and driving through their tents. And he gets into an accident while he's doing that. He like flips his car, and then after that it cuts to him going to the Jesse Adams show. So he doesn't even get hurt. He flips his car, and then he's at the Jesse Adams show.
He's like the Terminator at this point. He's just like, how the
cops not get him? He was being followed by cops. He just loses the cops by driving through the homeless tents, and then he just flips his car, survives completely, and ends up at a Jesse Adams show. That's the part
that I'm like, what? How? Yeah, that was a bit unbelievable. Anyway, so off to the side of that, we have Jesse, who has a big following. By the way, showed Sasir Zamata's character, Jesse Adams. She's a comedian. She has a big following on social media. And so she has like a stand-up show going on. And she has a friend, sort of friend, played by Kyle Mooney, also of SNL. He plays Miles Manderville, which the small bit that we have from him opening for Jesse Adams, his stand-up bit, I thought was really funny. Especially the part where it's like birthday emoji, pumpkin emoji from mom. What are you gonna get, mom? You're gonna get a phone call. Like, that was funny. Anyway, but anyway, he's kind of skeezy. He's like hitting on her a lot. He's he's not being racist, but he's kind of being like, he's like, you could be the next black comedian, the next like Chris. And she's like, look at him like, just stop talking. And it's just like, can you, dude, Miles, can you stop, please? Like,
he's also a social media addict, and he's playing on the race card.
Yeah, it's like, you're a white dude. Stop playing the race card. Like, just. By the way, side note, I hate when anybody says like, look at our diverse show. And it's like, no, don't fucking say that. Like, like they when they're like, oh, look how progressive we are. Like, no, just be progressive and be diverse and don't fucking say anything. Just because you're refraining from keeping from it becoming the norm. That's what I learned with also watching Mighty Ducks earlier. It's like, wow, it was so diverse. And they weren't saying, look how diverse these ducks are. You know, it's like, there's so much diversity. And it's just like, that's just to be the norm. Anyway, Kyle Mooney, great playing his character. Miles was a bit of a piece of shit, but he wasn't Chris Kringle. Let's be honest. Was Miles from being Chris Kringle. No way he was Chris Kringle. Kurt Kunkel of Sports World. Kurt Kunkel. Anyway, so he is driving with Jesse Adams. They're streaming. They're talking to both their audiences, and she has this show that eventually Kurt Kunkel. I'm messing up.
You're not getting presents from Santa this year.
Sorry, I'm getting Cole. Kurt Kunkel. Yeah. Anyway, so he makes it to the show somehow because he's like the fucking Terminator, and so he makes it to Jesse Adams' show, and because he also following her, and he's almost like jealous of her, but also like wants to be like her. He mentioned later they could have been a power couple basically, and so he watches her set, and her set, it was like very profound. It was like referencing her ride that she had earlier with Mario and Kurt Kunkel and Squirts World, and basically saying like, oh, this guy was like asking like, hey, follow, blah, 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 tag me. And she's like, I felt like sad for him. And because like I was him. And I just realized like, I'm paraphrasing it, like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be on social media anymore. So she's like, yeah, as of tomorrow, no more social media. And she like
throws the phone down,
drops the mic, and people are like, woo. And, Bobby Monahan's character, Miles, comes like, oh, that's historic. He continues to hit on her, blah, blah.
And so he's streaming it on his phone.
Oh, yeah.
He's put it up on social media. He's like, wow, great for you.
Hitting on this woman that clearly is not interested. And so she like pulls a fast one on him. And it's like, oh, yeah. Yeah, how about we get out of here? Why don't you call us a ride share, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, what? Really? Oh, yeah. And then she ends up fucking gets in another car and not with him. And she's like,
it's Kurt Kunkel's car.
Yeah. It happens to be Kunkel's car, which Kunkel stole from another guy. Was he fucking kill him, right? And at this point, there has been reports of the rideshare killer. That's now, the guy that Kurt Kunkel stole his car from, sold a new car from because he crashed his own car, knows of the rideshare killer because the new rideshare guy is like, hey, don't worry, I'm not the rideshare killer. And Kurt Kunkel's like, oh, I know.
It's like the Night Stalker. Like the Night Stalker was a real guy. Now we got the rideshare killer. And so he takes his car, he picks up Jesse. And I guess, yeah, because like they know of like, the police, I guess at this point know about Mario, know about the white supremacist that he killed, the one lady that he killed. He is now, and I don't know how the cops put that together with the DJ Uno incident. You know what I mean? Yeah.
That's the part it's also confusing.
Is DJ Uno still alive then? Well,
yeah,
she would have been dead. Yeah, did she get arrested then? Because we don't know.
She survived the poison water. So I don't know. Anyway, so then now it comes down to Kurt Kunkel and Jesse Adams, and it's basically a showdown. And it comes down to like, she finds out that like he's the killer, and she's like, okay, I'm not safe. I gotta get out of here. And she's trying to like make him stop. He's like, no, I'm gonna take you home, my home and stuff. So anyway, she tries to choke him with the charge cable, and
which doesn't work, by the way, because in the beginning of the movie, Kurt Kunkel tells the white supremacist, I believe he tells him, you know what they say, ABC, always be charging. And then Jesse Adams goes to use the charge cable on her phone, and Kurt Kunkel says immediately, oh, that doesn't even work. That never works. to the charge cable, that it never works. So it's basically a setup in his car. The charge cable is just a setup in his car, or to just be there. That's very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then again, if the charge cable in the car at the end isn't even his car,
It's not his car.
yeah.
Yeah, it is weird. Why would he know that? Because it's a stolen car. You're right. Wow, another loophole. Anyway, so she ends up trying to choke him. And then here's number 3. I guess number 4 now, since we touched on that. How could he fucking know about that charge cable because it's not a car? Is when he goes back there to he's like trying not to get choked. The car stops eventually, and then he goes back there and hits her. He only hits her once, and she's knocked out. And it's like, come on. He only hit her once. This dude is not that strong. He's pretty frail looking. Like, he hit her once.
He's
and
like a professional boxer now. He's Kurt Kunkel.
Unless he's a trained martial artist or he knows about like pressure points that like knock people out, or he's
the
just
next WWE Kurt Kunkel.
Kurt Kunkel, Kurt's World, or if he's like just this like big muscular guy, if he's like the fucking Rock or something. It's like one hit and this girl's out, and she looks pretty tough herself. It's like one fucking hit and she's knocked out. Like, unrealistic.
Jesse Adams and Kurt Kunkel.
Head to head. Who's gonna win? So then he's getting fucking feedback too from his chat still. They're like, and he rates, what was it, Kill, Marry, Fuck? That game, that awful game, like Kill, Marry, or Fuck. And
well, it started off, people were voting for Fuck. I'm like, this is
it's like
not good.
That's not good.
That's disgusting.
Don't think it would. Think it might be the R word, because she's definitely not going to want to consent to that.
Yeah.
And anyway, so it turns out that people vote to kill her, which is like, what the fuck? We know Kurt's crazy, but like his whole following is crazy too. Like, there's at times I was like pausing and trying to like read the feed to read the chat, what was going on, because like there's so much going on, know. And
it moves very quickly. The chat going super quick.
And that must have been fun too to write, like off to the side. Like, you have like a different writing team that like writes, like for the movie, I'm talking like the production of the movie, like a different team that like writes the chat, like that goes through, because like all that is within the canon and related to, because I was paying attention, like, oh, this is very, it's not just random words being spouted off. It's like very relative to what's happening. And people sounded fucking nuts. I don't know if his chat audience like saw it as like, oh, it's just like a stage thing. It's like WWE wrestling. It's not real. Let's just fucking say kill her, even though he's not going to kill her because it's fake and she's an actress or whatever. It's just like entertainment. It's like, no, it's not. It's like fucking real. And that's what Jesse says.
It still sounded like stream chat. Like, if this was an actual stream, that is what stream chat looks like. It
is, yeah. But like, to a murder, like, he's obviously at this point for sure, he's a psycho. He's a murderer. He's a bad person. He needs to be caught. He needs to be stopped. And it's his chat was being just as sociopathic, if not psychopathic and murderous as him, because they were encouraging him. They were encouraging, if everybody was like, stop, and then like they like somehow found the address and like go and get him. It's like, I don't know. I almost in the context of this film, I almost put just as much blame on his audience, like at least the majority of his audience, that were like egging him on and encouraging him. It's like, motherfuckers, stop encouraging this psychopath, this killer, this, don't rape her, don't kill her.
Aren't there friends of the followers that wouldn't dive in and be like, could somebody stop this? Or
Yeah, it's like, oh, by the way, he's at his parents' house at this point. And okay, question for you, Adam. I don't know this. Did he kill his mom before the whole movie started?
He killed his mom in the very beginning of the film when he stopped at his mom's place. So he drives his car to his mom's place, and
she's dead.
When he introduces the spree driving and everything like that, he's like, "Oh, hang on, Mom, I gotta," like, he's like, "Mom, hang on," and he runs into the house. And then when he runs back out with that necklace he hangs on his rearview mirror, that's that's introducing, like, he just killed his mom, ran out with that necklace and put it on his rearview mirror.
Yeah. Yep. You're right. And then his dad shows up. And this is also a weird thing because at this point, like, he's taking a beating from Jesse, right? Like, she's fought him. She's like, because she got in the car. Did she hit him with the car? I'm having trouble remembering.
That's at the very end. So
it's at the very end.
First his dad shows up and he's like, "You killed your mother? What did you do?" And then he kills his dad.
But he walks out like he walks out like a zombie. It's really strange, like the way, because at this point I'm like, okay, Joe Keery's performance is like spot on. It's really good. He performed really well. But there's this, like, I'm being nitpicky, but like this one moment where, like, right before he kills his dad, it's like he's like almost kind of like walking zombie like, and it's like, why are you walking like that? Because with everything else, Kurt Kunkel walks and does things with intense, precise intention, you know. And at this point, it's almost like he's sluggish to do this. It's like, oh, I figured he like wanted to kill his dad out of anybody, really. Anyway, so he kills his dad with the gun, and then Jesse drives the car right into Kurt Kunkel's body and kills him dead. And so then, yeah, she becomes a hero to a very violent film. And there's a happy ending. Jesse turns out as the hero. She becomes more famous because she's like #survivor. And it becomes, there's all these like headlines and tabloids and stuff. They basically said like, it's, you know, commenting on like social media and how, you know, it's like affected people and how she survived it. And
they have her take a selfie with Kurt Kunkel's dead head.
Yeah, which I was surprised that she would do that. It's like, okay, cool. I guess cool. I don't even know. If
she looked like she kind of doubted it at first, but then thought, "Oh, okay, I'll do it."
Yeah. It's like, okay, fine. And he's dead. She smiles like it's like a nice, genuine smile at this dead guy. But yeah, she killed the rideshare killer. She stopped him, which at that point, it's like maybe she saved much more lives because this guy was a threat to humankind. So with that, that's pretty much the film, everybody. And just so before we get into more personal thoughts, I just wanted to say that on Rotten Tomatoes, it currently has a 64% based on 73 reviews, and it's an average rating of 5.93 out of 10. And
that's from the critics.
Yeah. And the website's critics consensus reads, Joe Keery's magnetic screen presence can't disguise Spree's shallow critique of social media culture, although that lack of depth may be precisely the point. So yeah, and also the filming when it came to production, just want to touch on this before we get more into reception, so I mentioned this earlier. Anyway, filming occurred in February 2019 around Los Angeles, California. Keery worked closely with the director to understand his character, and the pair filmed in-character social media posts such as unboxing videos, shopping trips, and vape reviews. As research, the cast also spent hours watching content from influencers on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. And John DeFore of The Hollywood Reporter praised Keery's performance, saying, Stranger Things, sneakily charming Joe Keery gets the spotlight here, balancing the character's contradictory aspects, dork, fumbling, people pleaser, psychopath with ease. And to the extent that it works, much credit goes to Keery for finding the real human need inside 20-something Chipper. So yeah, also with that, it's interesting that we did this film the week after we did Rear Window, because it also touches on some things that you and I talked about, Adam, when it came to voyeurism. There's people like Sashir Zamana's character, Jesse Adams, says, why are you people watching this? This isn't TV. This is real life. Why are you all watching this? This isn't entertainment. You know, this is real life. People are getting hurt. This is wrong. And she's right. And you know, people, it's one thing for, like, for instance, last week, it's one thing for, LB Jeffries to look through the window and he's seeing something happening, and him and his girlfriend, Lisa, they do something about it to help people, you know, to stop a murderer. You know, they are participating in voyeurism, but you know what? They are stopping a murder. They're figuring it out. People in this movie in Spree aren't trying to do shit. They're just fucking entertained by it, and they're egging the evil guy on, which is horrible. Yeah. It's like, it's like we almost kind of like, oh, is voyeurism bad or good? Like in the last movie, and this one's like, yes, that's very bad when you're not fucking. It's one thing if they're watching him, and it's like, okay, all right, where has he been? We're one of his followers. Okay, we're gonna act like we're part of it, and it's like, let's go catch him. Let's go stop him. Adam, let's go catch. Let's go stop and catch the rideshare killer so we can save lives.
Right.
This is different. This is way worse voyeurism, in my opinion. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm really glad that you brought that up, because the voyeurism that we were talking about in our last review of Rear Window, we were talking about it because voyeurism in Rear Window as compared to contemporary society, we were talking about because in Rear Window, LB Jeffries in Rear Window was looking out his window and he was watching people in real life as they were doing activities in their apartments. And as we were comparing it to real life through what we're doing today, we were talking about on cell phones and social media, what people post on Facebook and social media or on Twitter. And what we were talking about then were through social media posts. And if I made a post on Facebook or on Twitter or something, and that wasn't exactly live action necessarily, it was kind of like following people through their posts on their feed. But this movie, Spree, is live streaming. So it was live. It was actually happening in real time. And that is a prime example of voyeurism, just like it was in Rear Window. So there is things that you could do about it in something like this. This would be just like if I was live streaming on Facebook or I was live streaming on Twitch, or Facebook or anything like that. If I was live streaming and I was doing something bad, there are things you can do about that. There are people you can contact. If there was someone who was live streaming a video game on Twitch and then all of a sudden they're like, hey, everybody, this is my girlfriend, and actually I've got a gun. That's a problem. That's a really big problem.
Stop that guy.
And, and there are things that we can do about that, and that's not good, and we should not feed into that. We should not be, saying, yeah, do stuff about that, because I know that there are articles out there right now in the news where there are people who are feeding into that, and they're saying, it would be really cool if you went and did this and live streamed it and, showed a bunch of people. And I just want to say that that's not good, and neither myself, and I will say Dash, neither one of us support those kinds of things. So,
not at all.
Yeah, that's not something that anyone should be doing. And if there's anything to take away from this film, before we get into the reviews, just don't play into that. Just don't do bad things. Don't live stream it. Don't be a criminal.
And it made me think that, like, we touched on the morality and we're very much on the same page on all that. And it's like, don't do bad things to people. And, if you see a streamer streaming bad things, stop them somehow.
Yeah.
Call someone to stop them, don't egg them on to get them to stop. It's more likely not a movie. If they're streaming it, they're making you feel like this bad thing is real. They're more likely not staging it, and you probably should just call someone to stop it, whether you think they're staging it or not, because worst case scenario, the cops show up and they're like, oh, they're not doing this or whatever. I don't know, or maybe they get arrested and the shit beat at them. Who knows with cops anyway. That's a whole nother topic.
Well,
but anyway, it's good to make sure to stop bad things if you're watching it, not egg them on. Anyway, but with that, be like LB Jeffries, stop the badness.
Exactly.
Participate at the very least in stopping the badness. So it made me think, we can touch on reviews too, other people's reviews after this. It made me think, and I'm curious what your thoughts on this in terms of like filmmaking, because like this is a very originally, I can't think of another film that's like this, like that is all live stream. It's very modern. It's very in the times. It's very relative to what's going on right now, especially with technology and social media and stream culture and influencers and all that. it made me think what other kinds of genres could work in this. It made me think of like found footage, how that was kind of like a micro genre fad that like sparked some really cool films, such as like when a Blair Witch Project came out, and you also had like Cloverfield and like Paranormal Activity. And Paranormal Activity was more of like security cameras, but it was still like a found footage type of film. And so is Cloverfield. But now you don't have to really make sense of like, for instance, like in Cloverfield, you have like TJ Miller like running around with a DV camera filming on a DV tape. It's like, okay, one, his DV tapes probably ran out by now because DV tape can't hold that much footage. Two, he's holding a handheld, camera documenting this like kaiju monster attack the whole time. But I could totally see footage cutting back and forth of like people's phone streaming of like a kaiju monster, attacking. I could totally see that happening. I'm curious, what do you think? Like, what could other types of movies be done in this, like, I don't know, stream footage type movie?
Yeah, very much like a found footage style. And I thought this was very interesting. As I watched it in the beginning, I liked the cell phone streaming style to it. And I enjoyed the sort of chat that would come in from the followers and things like that. There were parts that kind of put me off, like when the voice would come in and say what it had to say. The voice, the tone of the voice just really kind of put me off. But
Are you talking about Kris Kringle?
No, the voice
Kunkel?
Narration for when you get donations, and it would be like, "You're lame, you suck."
Oh, yeah, that didn't seem, because it doesn't even happen on Twitch. You see like a funny, hear like a funny sound effect, but you don't hear like a 1999 Macintosh word translator said like, "You actually suck."
Yeah. That kind of put me off, but I did enjoy
Same.
the chat and the live stream of the cell phone and things like that throughout the film. I don't know. I thought it carried along in that sort of style pretty nicely. I'm not sure what else to necessarily say about it, because I thought structurally, cinematically, I thought it cut around pretty well for its style. And I think if other films sort of took on this style, like if an action film picked this up or something like that, I think it would work. I think if they tried that, or if a horror suspense film tried this, that would actually work out pretty well. If a suspense film tried this, like, hey, we can only stream for the weekend. I don't know how they would pull that off, but I think if they wrote it well enough, everyone's streaming from their cell phones to communicate, or, two people from two different locations are streaming to each other to communicate, but both of them are streaming from haunted houses in two different countries or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In terms of like, horror, like a horror movie, what if you had a horror movie, but you're filming, but the film is from the perspective of the victims or the survivors, it's like, oh, someone's in here with a gun, and and the characters like streaming themselves like, we're here, and I'm talking about, I'm streaming this, like, get help, everybody, he's like, or him or her, it's like broadcasting to and whispering into it, and it's like, okay, the shooter's in here, he's coming out, but he took 2 people out, blah blah blah, send people to this address, blah blah, and like he keeps streaming, maybe puts in his pocket like Her style, like Joaquin Phoenix Her style, and that way his hands are free, and then you could kind of almost see the, I don't know, and it cuts to different streams that are spliced together, so you can kind of see all this in a very intensely intimate point of view of like a very bad thing happening, almost kind of like the way we could have like seen Kurt Kunkel, but from the perspective of someone who wasn't a psychopath but was streaming.
Yeah,
so
it'd be a good thing to integrate, even if it wasn't the entire film too, if even an action movie just picked it up for one scene or something like that.
Yeah, because there's something about it, just like with, like, for instance, like the movie 28 Days Later, and basically it was almost kind of like a French New Wave, like a new French New Wave of film, once people started filming with like DV tapes or handheld handy cams and DSLR cameras. It brings it to a very intimate real raw feeling that just feels startling. Whatever it is, whether it's a good feeling or a bad feeling, it makes it it hits home. It hits home. And I'm excited to see what other kind of films that it could inspire. So with that, it's about that time, buddy. Unless you got more tidbits or factoids, let's move on to our Slurps Up, Slurps Down section. And with that, if you are new to us, what we mean by that is our final verdict for the film, our final thoughts. And yes, we have a very binary system, Slurps Up, Slurps Down, but we also give some thoughts in between. And we are here to tell you if we liked it or not. Adam, what is your verdict for Spree?
Well, I'm going to say with this movie, Joe Keery's performance, I got to say, is actually pretty spot on for the type of character that he's playing. Our very wonderful Kurt Kunkel. And by wonderful, I mean don't ever be a Kurt Kunkel in real life.
Don't
Never
be a Mr. Kunkel.
A Kurt Kunkel, a Chris Kringle, a Kurt Kunkel.
Be a Chris Kringle, not a... Be a Chris Kringle, not a Kurt Kunkel. His dad is named Chris Kunkel, too.
What a ridiculous film. I swear to God. Kurt Kunkel is a horrible man. And this movie had my brain doing circles as I watched it, where certain scenes, I'm laughing at just how ridiculous they were. Kurt Kunkel's character is just the lowest of the lows. He's obsessed with social media to the nth degree. The fact that he couldn't get viewers past the double digits, he had 0 to 9 viewers at all times as he's killing people, and his car's decked out in cameras. The dude is a psychopath, and I thought the movie, from a technical perspective, not just script-wise, but from a technical perspective, I thought that it just did not quite tie the knots together from scene to scene. I thought, after the first guy, the first character that was in his, I could say Uber, but I will say spree, because the movie calls it a spree. In his spree car, he kills one guy. Who knows what happens to the body, because he kills this man, and then he just disappears. He picks up another person, he kills them, they disappear. Who knows what he's doing with these bodies? They just kind of disappear. And then, it goes on. You never really know what he's doing with the bodies, because they just die. And that was one of the things that kind of put me off about the film, is that after they die, you never really know what he does with them. And it just kind of goes along. It's like he kills someone, they poof. Another person shows up, they die.
They poop?
No, they poof, like they disappear. And then he's killing them via his poisoned water bottles. I don't know. It's just, it wasn't doing it all the way for me. And will I say, was it entertaining? Yes, it was entertaining, but was it entertaining enough? I don't think so. I don't think it was quite delivering it enough for me. So for this one, I'm going to, if you want to watch it, I'd say give it a try, but I'm going to give this one a slurps down.
Going down, down, the sugar wood going down, swinging. That is very interesting, Adam. Thank you for that. And with with that said, yes, I totally agree with you that Joe Keery did a fantastic performance. Quite the departure from Steve from Stranger Things, the 80s hero that we know and love with the spiky nail bat that fights demogorgons from another dimension. But he is not Steve from Stranger Things in this. He is Kurt Kunkel, a psychopath, a murderer, a terrible human being obsessed with digital social media attention, and does not care for human beings at all, no matter who they are. He only sees the world from his own perspective and only sees his own importance. The only redeemable quality of him I see is that he's just not racist. He's against racism.
Funny they started the movie with that. Let me just say that.
It is interesting why, because I was at first I was like, oh, I like this guy because I don't like racists. He doesn't like racists. Cool, racists are bad. Racism is bad, and he was kind of like defending like Jesse Adams a little bit too. And I was like, oh, he doesn't like people like abusing women and stuff. Like, okay, he has values. Yeah, it is strange that like it touched on like a little thing and it made you almost feel like, oh, like, do I like this guy? I don't know, and then like, yeah, he's a mass murderer. No, I don't like this guy. So That's the only thing that is redeemable about Kurt Kunkel, but it does not make up for all the horrible things he does. Does not at all. So yeah, Kurt Kunkel, bad boy, not a bad boy, just a bad man. And yeah, it is a startling movie because as wacky as it is, there is a lot of moments that are very startling, very jarring, like, holy shit, this feels like it could happen. Mostly, I think, because it is all from either iPhone, smartphone cameras or from GoPros. And all those make things feel much more intimate. And it's like, holy shit, I hope this doesn't happen in real life. I hope this, nobody gets inspired by this movie. Kind of like when we reviewed Scream, how there was like, Scream killings, Scream copycats after that. It's like, holy shit, I hope no one's going to try to get a following by killing people. I pray to God that doesn't happen. But with that, looking at this as a film, like I said, I am excited to see what other things could be sparked from this. Not just like horror, but maybe drama, maybe suspense, maybe the sci-fi stuff, just like extraordinary things happening that can feel more real through the lens of a smartphone. And yeah, Joe Keery carried the whole thing. I thought it was very excellently edited because everything flowed so well. I did like this, I'll just call it side writing with the chat of the audience, because all helped it make it feel real as well. Seeing all like what his thousands of followers would say during this moment. Again, it also made me kind of maybe more disgusted, because I was like, oh, it's like almost kind of like the not voyeurism, but it's like this collective, like the stand-byer effect. The basically when someone's like standing by something that's horrible and a group of people don't do anything about it, and they just like watch this horrible thing happening. And Kurt's audience not only just watched, they egged him on, which is awful. So Kurt and his Kurt's world are psychopathic evil beings. And it was nice to see, though, Jesse Adams came out on top at the end and became the hero, the survivor, the person that brought down the psycho evil social media person that is Kurt Kunkel. I probably would not watch this again unless I wanted to like show this movie to someone that is, interested in something unique, something new, something fresh, something that's like very jarring in terms of making you feel real. At times it feels real. We touched on the things that like, it's like, really, he wouldn't survive that fucking car flip, or it's like, also it's like, I really like he one hit, really, he punched her in one hit and she's out. Like, no way. Other than some of the unrealistic things, it still felt pretty real. And I was also glad to see Misha Barton, as in her character was London Sachs.
California, here we come.
It's great to see her back on the screen again. And yeah, I gotta say though, I'm glad that I still watched it. It was a good movie in my opinion, in terms of like making you think about the real world today. It made me think more on social media culture now. And yeah, I give it a slurps up, man. And I totally respect your opinion. I totally do. It's not my highest slurps up. It's not my, high to the sky slurps up, but I got to give it a slurps up. I like movies that make me think more. Even with all the silly things involved, like it still made me think, because social media is, not all of it, but like it can be very silly, and what happens when you have the silliness and you have scary mixed together? It's like, I don't think I should be laughing at some of this. It's like, it makes you feel uncomfortable. They're my favorite movies, but I do like it when films I like when I feel really good with films, but I also like it when films make me feel uncomfortable and think more and get me out of my comfort zone. And it may not feel good, but that means a film can be very powerful and hopefully inspires good change. Anyway, yeah, slurps up for me. Slurps up, slurps up, slurps up.
All right.
Yeah. Woo! Anyway, let's get on TikTok. Let's start streaming on Twitch. Woo!
I am on TikTok, so
Yeah,
where have you been,
nice.
buddy?
Let me think about it. Anyway, thank you for listening to our review of Spree, ladies and gents. We really appreciate it. And with that, we're going to leave Spree behind and move forward with our solo plug time. That's right. This is the time of the episode where Adam and I plug some stuff that we do separately that's not Screen Slurps. So please hashtag follow us, Screen Slurps, follow us, tag us, blah, 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 blah.
Hashtag.
If you want to, that would be great. But know that our self-worth and our self-esteem do not depend on it. We would like you to join us in our community, but know that we will not do anything bad if you don't.
Also, we don't drive a Spree, and our
we
names
don't drive a
aren't
Spree.
Kungle.
Yes, exactly. It'd be nice. We like building our community, but in our separate communities as well. But it's okay if you don't want to. It's totally okay. Anyway, solo plug for me. Dash Gearhart is I stream. Yes, I also stream. I stream on Twitch.
Follow.
I just follow. Tag me. Dash Gearhart. I play video games. I do other fun things on my channel. So yeah, follow me at twitch.tv/DASHJAYHART. That's twitch.tv/-Jhart. I'm also on Twitter at Dash Gearhart, DASHGIERHART. Also on Instagram. It's private. You can try following me. If I don't, please don't take it personally. Anyway, yeah. Twitter and Twitch probably best bet. Anyway, Adam, what are your solo plugs, my friend?
I'm on Twitter, Instagram at Adam Meisner. I'm also on Twitch /A Meisner. And just hit me up. I play music. I post original songs and covers. And if you send me a message on something you'd like to hear, you just let me know, and I will probably do it. I'm always looking to make more music. I was just fooling around with my synthesizer the other day, making some weird, crazy sounds. So just let me know what you want to hear, and I will make it.
Can you do a cover of Billy Joel's For the Longest Time? Here, I'll do the backups for you.
That would be so much fun.
I'll do the backups for you. 1, 2, 3. Whoa, for the longest time. Whoa, for the longest boom, boom, boom. You're supposed to sing.
I don't know the words. I gotta look them up.
And the greatest miracle of all.
Bum, bum,
That's
bum.
how I need you.
Bum, bum, bum.
And you should tag me too. That's a follow for a follow. Kidding. Anyway. Fuck social media, am I right? Anyway.
Hashtag the longest time.
Whoa. Hashtag Screen Slurps podcast. That wraps up for this episode of Screen Slurps, everybody. And thanks for listening. And please be sure to like/follow us. You don't have to on social media. I feel weird saying this now. We release new episodes every Monday on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and just about everywhere you can find podcasts on the internet. And please be sure, if you want, to follow us and subscribe to us on those platforms. And if you like our show, if you want, you can give us a nice 5-star review. God,
Please do.
Podcast.
We're not Kurt Kunkel.
We are pathetic, and recommend us to everyone in your multiverse. It will help the show grow. Please, we like doing this for you. We like doing this for you.
We make
like
more
doing
shows
these
because of
top
you.
movies.
So please.
Yeah, we make more shows to entertain you, only to entertain, and because Adam and I like each other, and we are the Screen Slurps. Closing out, this is Dash Gearhart.
And I'm Adam Meisner.
Slurps up, and we'll catch you later.
Later.
Take care. Take some time away from your phone and social media, everybody. And do
For
some
the
meditation.
longest time.
Whoa, get off social media.
For the longest time.
Take a jog or run.